3 rounds of discussion with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from a Zoom call in Columbia, South Carolina, Matthew, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. And his opponent from a Zoom call in Atlanta, Georgia, Daniel, aka the Executioner. Take it away, Matthew.
Hello.
Alright, we're only re-recording the intros now. If we need to record topic 3 of episode 90, I will let you know as soon as I figure that out.
Okay.
I just want to get the intros in different recordings for simplicity.
Roger.
Alright, so now is the recording of episode 90 intro.
In a 3, a 2, a 1.
Thank you, Jesse, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. This is the intro for episode number 90.
God damn.
You really need to get to talking to your wrestler friends to see when we can schedule him. Hopefully for episode 100.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but let's run through the topics real quickly and get into the episode.
Topic number 1.
Characters WWE should have pushed but didn't, or have not pushed yet.
Topic number 2.
Our second ever fantasy booking fight. This one is The Fiend versus The Undertaker.
Topic number 3.
Does the WWE draft serve a purpose anymore?
Alright, let's jump into the episode.
Yep, right now.
Well, hello everybody. Topic number 1. People that WWE should have pushed. Okay, the first wrestler that honestly pops in my mind when you think of wrestlers that deserved a push, that should have been a main eventer, Dolph Ziggler comes to mind.
Yeah, and for me, I'm going to present someone that hasn't been pushed yet, but will be a megastar one day. In fact, people were clamoring for him to win Money in the Bank. L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about LA Knight is, I don't know if you realize this, but that man's in his 40s. So he's not really a young cat.
Neither is Dolph Ziggler.
Fair enough. Okay.
Keep it in mind, Dolph Ziggler has had multiple different identities in WWE. The one that comes to mind for me, Nikki from the Spirit Squad.
Okay. See, what I mean by Dolph Ziggler is a guy who's been in WWE for the longest time and should have been at a certain point just in the main event scene, but not really.
Ye forget he's a former world champion.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he should have been more than at least a 2-time world champion.
Fair enough.
Okay, another wrestler that WWE dropped the ball with, that they really, really had something with, that honestly should have been a multiple world champion, Curtis Axel.
Yeah, especially with his family lineage.
Again, had something here. Had this man be like people like Triple H and a whole bunch of people, managed by Paul Heyman, win the Intercontinental title, and then was a part of B Team, and then forgot about.
And don't forget about the Miz Taraj.
Oh, right. Yeah, again, had something.
Yeah.
Another wrestler that WWE honestly...
I got one. The man that Gravity forgot. Neville.
Yes.
Currently known as the Bastard Pac.
But in my opinion, WWE had something when they turned him into the king of the cruiserweights.
Yeah, when he let a little bit of that bastard Pac out.
Exactly. They had something there, but didn't do anything. Okay. Here's another guy that WWE had something with, but didn't do fucking crap with. And that is Mason Ryan.
Yeah.
You had something with that guy.
Literally, I'm not joking. One of his nicknames, apparently on like the Indies or something, was Batiste 2.
Yeah, okay, that says something. But another guy, okay, here's another guy that WWE had something with. The Fiend. No, just Bray Wyatt in general. Any iteration
Yeah.
of Bray Wyatt. Anything.
Whether it's Eater Worlds, the Leader Worlds, the Fiend, freaking whatever this current version is.
Exactly. Everything. They had something. Fucked it up. Okay, here's another guy that WWE had something with. But a man that, in my opinion, should have been a main eventer. That WWE honestly, who is it? Oh yeah, Cesaro.
Yes. He was so mishandled. I'm glad he's back to being Claudio Castagnoli in AEW. But he has WWE literally had both members of the Kings of Wrestling on their roster and never had them team up.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another wrestler that WWE had. Okay, here's a WWE wrestler that you know for a fact WWE will push. Braun Breaker.
Yeah, he is a monster with a capital M in NXT.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, Braun Breaker. That's the guy
The
that.
son of Rick Steiner, the nephew of Big Papa Pump.
Yeah, okay. Here's another wrestler that WWE completely had something with, but honestly dropped the ball. Okay, I'll tell you who WWE dropped the ball with that they had something with. Karrion Kross.
Yep. WWE is actively trying to make people forget about his first run on the main roster.
But let me ask you this.
In fact, I'm pretty sure we covered that on a previous episode.
But let me ask you this before we end this thing: is that since he has returned and he hasn't really run that whole stupid mess, has he honestly done anything?
He hasn't won a title yet, I'll tell you that much.
But and see, now I want to explain my reason for Karrion Kross real quick. The reason why I think WWE missed an opportunity, okay, for Karrion, because actually there's one other person that I want to say before. The reason why I think Karrion Kross is you had a chance to do like a new kind of monster, a new kind of villain, something that was sort of on the level of like was sort of on like a level of like an Undertaker-ish sort of character, a dude that just went on a path of destruction. Again, he wasn't in NXT. That man went through the entire roster.
Yeah.
You had something with. Hell, you had something when he returned with Roman Reigns. Where the fuck? Hell.
Yeah, I was about to say, they never followed up on that hourglass signal.
No.
Because they want Karrion to be the second biggest heel in WWE.
Oh, and here's another guy that WWE had something with. Well, I mean, they still have, but they really, really should have pushed. Chad Gable.
Yeah, and if Chad heard you say that, you know what he'd say?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, here's my reason is I honestly, and I have been wanting to say this for the longest time, and I'm going to get this out of my system right now before we end this, and I mean this. He should have been Kurt Angle's whole adopted son thing. Illegitimate son thing. That would have been a chance to have him win championship instead of his random partner.
Did you watch how the Adam Wood booked Kurt Angle's illegitimate son?
Yep.
Is that what made you think of that?
Yep. Well, that's my thought. We'll be back. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say, an evergreen topic we may cover later are characters WWE overpush.
Meh.
I said maybe. We can talk about that off podcast. We'll be back with topic number 2. And we are back with topic number 2. Our second ever fantasy booking fight. This time the topic is The Undertaker versus The Fiend.
Well, this shit is gonna warning. This shit is going to be dark as fuck.
Yeah, just because of the character.
All right, Matthew, so, take it away.
I'm starting off this time. I forgot to write a script last night, so let's just pretend. And let me tell you a story of how The Fiend tried to take the
Go.
Most, up until a certain point, The Fiend is booked the same, but let's start this story off after the Firefly Funhouse match.
Okay.
Where The Fiend had defeated John Cena.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt was doing his usual Firefly Funhouse thing, but suddenly it gets dark, like the power had gone out. When it comes back on, the Mr. Rogers version of Bray Wyatt is in the grasp of The Undertaker, who previously on WrestleMania had seemed to retire after defeating AJ Styles. Bray Wyatt says, "Oh, come on, big man. You know that you are retiring, that your throne is for the taking. And I intend to do that, big man. All you need to do is let me in." The Undertaker just tells him, "You are not worthy of being the Gravemaker. No one will take my throne. No one can accomplish what I have. I will make your character rest in peace." And then he shows him through the TV or something. You know, something like that. Then, for months, Undertaker disappears, and The Fiend just continues to rack up wins after wins. Sometimes the Mandible Claw, sometimes the Sister Abigail, sometimes a Hell's Gate just to spite The Undertaker. Bray Wyatt starts calling out The Undertaker, who hasn't been seen on WWE television for literal months at this point. And then, after months of trying on the Firefly Fun, The Fiend appears on Raw, and he has Paul Bearer's urn, and he has his Alexa Bliss is by The Fiend's side. He says, "Undertaker, if you don't fight The Fiend at Survivor Series, well then Paul Bear's spirit is going to leave this world and you won't have the power that you used to. Gone. Lights go out. Fire erupts on the stage and from the ring post. Another gong. Lights come back on. Alexa Bliss is down. And The Undertaker is standing behind The Fiend. The Fiend just turns around and starts laughing. Undertaker has a microphone in his hands. One of those ones that doesn't have the WWE logo, since that's the one he uses.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you want me at Survivor Series. You want me at the birthplace of The Undertaker. Very well. At Survivor Series, I will put my throne of being the grave digger on the line. As long as you put this facade of yours on the line, Wyatt, you will be the last soul I take, because it will not be a normal match.
Okay.
It will be a buried alive match. Gong and The Undertaker disappears. Then, as Survivor, The Fiend enters. No Alexa Bliss, no Firefly Funhouse, just immediately to Code Orange singing their remix of Bray Wyatt's theme song. Undertaker comes out with an interesting sort of color to him. His boots and gloves are purple. It's almost reminiscent of his debut attire those years ago. The bell rings, and they don't waste time laying into each other, destroying each other, and both announce tables, mind you, before they make their way up to the stage where the pit is and the wherever that thing is with the dirt in it. I don't know construction materials. They fight inside the pit, and Bray Wyatt lays a mandible claw on the Undertaker. Undertaker passes out. Wyatt climbs out of the ditch and signals for the dirt to be laid on Undertaker. But before that can happen, lightning strikes the pit. The Fiend looks in. Undertaker is gone. Then, from behind him, Undertaker shoves the Fiend in between his legs, throws a hand up in the air, grabs Wyatt, lifts him up on his shoulders, up, last ride, and then he pulls a lever on the dirt falls on the Fiend, ending the match. Now I know that admittedly the Fiend losing is something we never wanted to happen, but The Undertaker deserved to go out on a high note like he did at WrestleMania, and I wanted to keep that essence.
My turn.
Yep.
Okay. Let me take you back in time to when The Fiend debuted at SummerSlam. He debuted at SummerSlam and except this time he annihilated Bray Wyatt, he annihilated Finn Balor so badly that the match had to be called via forfeit. and then he's still locked in the mandible claw. Referee, security kept forcing him away, and then the lights went out, and then he was gone. After that, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, appeared on SmackDown on a Firefly Funhouse and said that the Fiend is here to not just to lay waste to the WWE and take back his throne, to take a title of his choice, that nobody is safe. Alexa Bliss.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now.
Shut
Alexa-
up, Alexa.
Alexa Bliss pops up. There's, the thing starts to get creepy. There's fire and blood starting pouring out. Alexa Bliss starts creepily laughing, and then the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in his Rogers attire, is like, all right, bye, everybody. Nobody is safe. What to do is let me in 4 months. And then on Raw and SmackDown, Bray Wyatt, there's fire, there's a whole bunch of creepy dolls. People from the roster are getting destroyed, left, right, and center. People from Raw, people from SmackDown. Hell, people from NXT aren't even safe.
Oh, Lord.
He's going after everybody. Alexa Bliss is just taking everybody out. Then months later, Goldberg, couple, years go by, and Bray Wyatt is just causing a destruction worse than anybody has. We come to a WrestleMania in 2020. He has that Firefly Fun match and beats John Cena. After that, he has we go to Braun Strowman. No, I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Braun Strowman won. Actually, no. Scratch that. It goes back to the Fiend. We get to the Fiend versus Goldberg at Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt destroys. Like, Goldberg goes for a spear. The Fiend just pops up. Goldberg goes for another spear. Bray Wyatt just gets up. He goes for a jackhammer. The Fiend kicks out at 1. And then beats him with 2 Sister Abigails, and then locks in the mandible claw and beats Goldberg. He continues to go on a path of destruction. Like I said, we get to the Firefly Funhouse. We have that match, the Firefly Funhouse match. It happens. Goldberg won the Universal. Goldberg, was set to face that stuff. Goldberg, Braun Strowman won. The Fiend and Braun Strowman had a match at Money in the Bank. Except that match was was a last man standing match. And not only was the Universal title on the line, Bray Wyatt got the monster, sucking the monster among men back onto his side. He at Survivor Series, Roman Reigns still returned. The Fiend did lose his Universal title. Well, anyway, a bunch of Bray Wyatt was causing destruction, and then one day on an episode of the Firefly Funhouse, the lights in the funhouse started to flicker. The lights were going off and on. The lights went out. There was a druid saying that the handed the Fiend, handed Bray Wyatt a message, and the message says, "You do not deserve." He's like, "You are desecrating my legacy. You are destroying everything I have built. You will not be safe. This is war." For weeks, for months, there is a bunch of, druids are, Bray Wyatt's puppets start to come to life and start attacking people. But then, then Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt is in the ring cutting promos. The lights come, and druids come out with a coffin with creepy druid music, of course. They released a coffin, and inside the coffin is a dummy of the Fiend. And right in front, as Bray Wyatt is looking in fear, laughing, lightning strikes the coffin, and Undertaker says, "You deserve nothing. You are not a monster. You are just a man. I am the darkness of death. I defeated you all those years ago at WrestleMania 31. And now I will be the one to put you out." For months, we go to Survivor Series. Undertaker, is announcing his retirement. He's in the middle of the ring doing, he's in the middle of the ring doing his thing one last time. The lights go out. The lights flicker on and off. You hear you wake up and you see the Undertaker in a Sister Abigail inside the Thunderdome, and Bray Wyatt hits Undertaker with the Sister Abigail, and starts laughing. The lights flick off and on. Undertaker shows up on a random episode of, of Raw, and a random, Undertaker shows up on a random episode of shows up on a random episode of Monday Night Raw, just goes laying into the entire roster. Nobody is safe. People are getting tombstone. Undertaker's choke slamming people. Nobody is safe. Undertaker, Drew McIntyre is the Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion. Drew McIntyre throws out a dumbass open challenge. The lights go out. Undertaker comes in, grab Drew McIntyre, chokeslam, picks him up, last ride tombstone, and wins the WWE Championship. Grabs a mic and challenges Bray Wyatt to a match at the following WrestleMania. And if he wins, I will retire.
I don't know what happened. He got disconnected. I'm gonna check. So I'm gonna post a poll after the episode.
Hello?
Oh, you're back. What happened?
I don't know. That was weird. Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, Undertaker won the WWE title from Drew McIntyre. These two started going, had a lengthy promo segment. The match was made at WrestleMania. It was The Undertaker versus The Fiend. Career on the line. Undertaker versus The Fiend inside Hell in the Cell. They have a match. It is one of the most violent and bloody Hell in the Cell matches ever. But in the end, I forgot to mention, at one point, Bray Wyatt was about to end The Undertaker's career. And in the middle of this match, Kane, a recreation of Kane's debut, as you will, Kane comes out. Kane comes in, rips off the door. Undertaker's beaten, battered, bloody. Kane grabs Bray Wyatt, tries to lock in the mandible claw on Kane. Kane grabs him by the throat, chokeslams Bray Wyatt through a table on fire. Undertaker looks at his brother it's about, Bray Wyatt sits up, and in the end, Fiend comes back, tries to what's the word I'm looking for? Tries to sister just to mandible claw both of them. Undertaker came, grabbed the Fiend by the throat, double choke slam through a ladder that got set up. Undertaker picks him up, tombstone, 1, 2, 3, and Undertaker wins. And then eventually Undertaker loses, has a feud with Roman Reigns, and loses to him. And in the end, Undertaker, Undertaker hit the tombstone. Bray Wyatt kicked out, reversed it into a sister. Reversed the tombstone into a tombstone. Tombstone the Undertaker. 1, 2, 3. Bray Wyatt wins, and the Undertaker loses a Hell in the Cell match to the Fiend at WrestleMania, and is forced to go into retirement.
Okay, see what I deal with when we talk on the phone, people? Anyways, as I was saying, whatever happened, I'm gonna post a poll under this episode, and with who did the better prediction or fantasy booking, myself or my co-host, and you guys can decide for yourself.
All right, we'll be back with topic 3.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Ding dong.
Hey, you ready to re-record?
Yeah, before we record, I want to ask, do we need to re-record The Undertaker versus Fiend?
No, that's fine. I wasn't feeling nauseous then.
Okay.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. This will be your topic, right?
Yes.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. We are back with the third and final topic. Does the WWE draft serve a point? My honest thought is it doesn't really serve a point because it doesn't really feel like it has any massive impact. That you can kind of just sometimes tell with the WWE what's gonna happen most of the time, unless there's like a surprise call up or something. That's really about it. Because what I was saying is, if you're gonna actually do this, make the draft unpredictable. Make it like we as the audience don't really have an idea of what exactly is going to happen. Hell, put like a GM in charge. Bring back that stuff. Have someone represent Raw. Have someone represent SmackDown. Have NXT be involved. Make it really, if NXT is truly the third brand of
Yeah,
WWE.
have the least drafted superstar in the entirety of WWE history be involved. That being Shawn controls NXT now.
Yeah, have it be very, very unpredictable. Like, let's say, for example, let's say you got AJ Styles representing SmackDown, and you got JD McDonough representing Monday Night Raw. The winner of that match gets their brand a pick. Like, let's say you got Ilya Dragunov versus Finn Balor. Good match. And let's say Dragunov wins, you could get NXT a pick. Make it very we don't really know exactly what we're gonna tune into because, quite honestly,
Yeah, and like get some triple threat matches. That way SmackDown has a shot as well.
exactly, make it truly very, very unpredictable. Because I'm gonna be honest, the only really another times the draft doesn't really work well is if you unify the tag team titles. It doesn't really work so well because it neglects the other brand of a title.
Yeah.
Because what is the point of Monday of the draft if a superstar from Raw can just show up on Friday nights? Or a superstar from Friday nights can just show up on Monday nights?
Or a show from either Monday or Friday decides to show up on Tuesday night.
That too. Because the point I am making, folks, and I want to make this crystal clear out there, is if you honestly want me to, as the fan, to tune in to the draft, make it a lot more big. Okay, and you know what? Here's the point. Here's the massive point. The draft didn't really seem to make any goddamn sense, and I'm more referring to this year due to the entire world title tournament. It made no sense.
Yep.
And the reason I'm saying that is, oh great, you got a AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins to crown the inaugural world champion. What is the point of it being a Raw fucking championship if SmackDown wrestlers are in it?
Yeah, not to mention the draft sort of solidified that it was going to be a Raw championship. And I was complaining about this when it happened. You're a fucking hypocrite. You were like defending it originally.
That is true, but then I realized something. I realized how dumb it was because, okay, look, if you're gonna crown a champion exclusively to said roster, right? And it's supposed to be the big inaugural champion. Maybe do a mini Royal Rumble for the title. Do a bring back the Elimination Chamber for that shit. Do something with just those people from your brand. Give the call-ups a chance to actually wrestle a match.
That's what I was saying. But you were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And that's why I picked Seth Rollins for Night of Champions because I knew he was going to win because he was a Raw superstar.
Fair point. I agree. Yeah, but the point is that if you're gonna have a draft and have championships, okay, here's another thing why the draft is pointless. Take the entire Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship situation when those titles were a thing. The wrestlers switched brands, but the titles did not. You didn't just immediately.
Oh my god, that situation was terrible.
Exactly. You didn't, you had Rhea Ripley, who won the SmackDown Women's Championship, go to Monday Night Raw, and you had the Raw Women's Champion go to Friday.
Bianca Belair at the time.
Bianca at the time go to SmackDown.
But they nearly just traded championships instead of creating brand new championships for them.
Yeah, and also I have this valid question and this is a genuine question: is why is WWE calling it the WWE Women's Championship when isn't it called the WWE Undisputed Women's Title?
I thought it was WWE Women's Undisputed Championship.
Oh, right, it was called that, but for some reason they're still calling it the WWE Women's.
Man, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
WWE logic is weird.
Yeah, because the point that I am making is if you're going to trade champions, look, when the mid-card champion gets changed, they go with the title. Like when Austin Theory went to Raw, went to SmackDown, he went with him. The title went with him. Yeah. When Gunther went to Raw, the title went with him.
So that brings up something. How would what if that, not just the Intercontinental title went with Gunther, Imperium went with Gunther? How would, one of the wild cards of the draft is factions could be split up. For example, the New Day. But literally no factions currently in WWE got split up by the draft.
Yeah, because the point, like, well, we could just go look, let's say you got, for example, you got Charlotte Flair versus, let's say your matches, you got Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov. And that is for a pick. You could not only get some first-time match, some wrestlers from NXT, the Spotlight, but you could honestly have different first-time matches.
Yeah.
Give wrestlers that don't really get a chance, look, here's how I would do it. You have, let's say, like I said, let's say Sheamus goes to SmackDown, and you could have, NXT, like, SmackDown gets a pick. They choose Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes. Sheamus comes out. You do a random, you spin a wheel. It'd be random. And let's say it lands on Ilya Dragunov. He'd be, it'd be a random opponent from either Raw or SmackDown, Raw or NXT. And that'd be opponent, and then whoever wins between those two gets a pick.
Like, I know you and I have talked about, like, the drafts when we're on the phone, and I've said this a few times, but how I would do the draft is I would have someone be picked from Raw, for Raw or SmackDown, and then I would have another person picked. If they are the same gender, I would have them battle, and the winner gets a pick first, and then the person gets a pick. Which is something you sort of said in this, which I'm just not realizing and feel stupid about.
Yeah, but it's just the point of the draft. Because think about this. When most major sports like the NFL or the NBA or any major sports do a draft, it's very, very, very chaotic and very unpredictable. Do that. Make me, as the audience, have no idea. Because I'm going to be dead honest here. Most of the time when you watch the WWE draft, you can honestly tell who's going to where.
Uh-huh.
If you're going to do the draft, make me as the WWE Universe actually give a fuck about the draft. Make it honestly where it's even less predictable to the wrestlers, because I'm aware that the only thing the wrestlers don't know is where they're going. Make it very unpredictable. Like,
yeah.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell the commentators. Just have it be all on the fly. Really create some chaos here. If you want if you want some drama and some storytelling, there you go. Sorry, I just need to get that out of my system, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's all the time we have.
Roll
this is
that
going to be an over 50-minute episode. Roll that outro. Thank you for listening to At Odds, hosted by the Unbreakable Spirit
and the Executioner,
edited by the Unbreakable Spirit. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MTS_life_0126.
You can follow me on Instagram at DanTravis21, and you can also follow me on the Twitter at DanTheExecutioner21.
And you can follow the podcast at Odds Podcast. We'll be back next week with more debates and discussion. But until then, the Executioner and the Unbreakable Spirit will still be at odds.
Thank you, losers.